you, if you want to know.
I'm in love with the drugs that I take. You like flowers, I buy you a daisy. That's my baby, that be my lady. Drive me crazy, that bitch drive me crazy. That's my baby, that be my lady.
Bull must cost at least about, I don't know, billions of dollars just as like a economical standpoint, you know. I don't know how much, but it's a lot of people making money and money being spent on the Super Bowl.
Entire cities
that we don't even know
compete
about
for the right to host it. Thousands of workers, volunteers, media members, and law enforcement agencies are involved. Private jets flood airports, hotel rooms disappear. And for
Bro, you just got to think about all the rich people moving and flying in town, all the celebrities flying in town. It's a bunch of money just going. The city got to prepare. Say, for example, the Super Bowl getting hosted in New Orleans. Restaurants got to prepare for that. Hotels got to prepare for that. Everybody got to prepare for that.
1 week, everything in that city revolves around a single event. So how does the NFL actually pull it off?
Every time it's in New Orleans, too, I feel like it's always the most live.
Video, we're breaking down how the Super Bowl really works.
New Orleans are
from host city selection, Super Bowl week logistics, to broadcasting, commercials, halftime shows, and everything that happens once the final whistle blows. Where does the planning for the Super Bowl start? With the selection of a host city. To host a Super Bowl, you first have to place a bid, which normally starts about 4 years out, and the NFL considers a multitude of factors to select a host city. The NFL considers stadium quality and capacity, obviously, but also many other factors like hotel inventory, airport capacity, the climate of the city if the field is in a dome, security on hand, and corporate infrastructure.
All right, that make a lot of sense because I imagine they wouldn't want to do it at like the smaller, lower end stadiums in the NFL. Like who has a really bad stadium? What's one of the worst stadiums in the NFL? Probably, I don't know. Is Jacksonville Stadium good? Is Carolina Stadium good? I never seen Super Bowls getting hosted there. Wait, actually, I think they had one in Jacksonville not too long ago. I don't know. But yeah, like Caesar Superdome in New Orleans, they like to do it out here because just the seating and the overall New Orleans is a good city to go for tourists and all that. So it always work out for them, but maybe like Texas, Houston. What's another good one? Probably. I know Vegas got a good stadium now. Yeah.
To get the game, host cities will come up with intricate plans that cost millions of dollars to prepare.
Arizona too, yeah.
This may
Arizona
seem
got a
backwards,
nice stadium.
but it's actually an investment.
Cowboys Stadium.
For example, Las Vegas spent roughly $60 million preparing for the Super Bowl, but the return was massive. With an estimate,
and then you got a city like Vegas. I imagine people is going there and also putting millions of dollars into gambling on the sport, gambling on the weekend, just overall, not even betting on sports. You probably got people just going, oh, we in Vegas right now. Let's just go hit the casino. So Vegas overall is just profiting millions and millions of dollars.
An economic boost hovering around $600 to $700 million, a 10x return. These investments are in a number of different things. Host cities will often renovate stadium locker rooms, improve broadcast capabilities by adding new cabling for cameras, and a host of other things. Cities will tightly map out traffic plans, trying to find the most efficient ways for fans to reach the stadium.
What is this?
Another important consideration is airport availability. There are plenty of commercial flights that will be arriving for the big game, but an even bigger consideration is being able
having access to a private jet and say like you a sports person that you just go into all the games, that got to be clutch.
to house all of the private jets. The Super Bowl obviously is just as much a social event as it is a sporting one, with thousands of celebrities, athletes, and business moguls attending every year. Given this, a ton of private jets arrive every single year for the Super Bowl. For Super Bowl 58 in Vegas, approximately 882 private jets flew into the city for the big game. The year before that, in Phoenix, a record 931 private jets.
Crazy.
Insane.
Now imagine a net worth of all 931 planes. Like imagine each net worth on each plane.
In case you haven't heard, the prediction markets are the new way to take action on sports. I started using Call Sheet specifically when I found
Get your money, big dog. Go ahead and skip this real quick.
this video. Get a free FTS.
Oh, come
The security is ridiculous too. The Super Bowl is labeled as an NSSE, short for National Security Special Event. This means that a multitude of different security groups need to work together to ensure a smooth, safe event for everyone. That means a group effort and collaboration between the Secret Service, FBI, Department of Homeland Security, state police, and local law enforcement.
Y'all think like is people that's fake attending the game, but they're really FBI or like Secret Service or something? I imagine they have to be doing some sort of like secret shopper, quote unquote, like method, as well as like having snipers and shit in buildings. Like I imagine they moving real tactical with this shit, because
The exact number is tough to pin down, but it is estimated that the FBI, DHS, and Secret Service contribute anywhere from 500 to 700. State and local law enforcement between 1,200 and 2,000, and roughly another 200 to 400 from the National Guard. All told, well over 3,000 plus security members help secure the Super Bowl. To house everyone visiting, hotels work overtime. In New Orleans, it was estimated that 43,000 hotel rooms were roughly 93% occupied, which is crazy. In Vegas, that number
Making
was
that bread, bro.
tenfold. 413,000
God damn.
hotel rooms were booked between Friday and Sunday, the week of the Super Bowl.
good luck getting a room. Like, imagine you got some bad shit, you can't even get yourself a room that night, nigga. You got niggas booking a year in advance, and you just in the city on some, like, you know, regular shit. Imagine you don't even watch football.
Although this is expected
Imagine
for a
you don't
city
even
like
watch
Las
football and
Vegas,
niggas going to your city.
where many people probably visited to enjoy everything Vegas has to offer during America's biggest sporting event. Who makes up many of the people attending the Super Bowl? Volunteers, of course. 10,000 plus volunteers help every single year with the Super Bowl. This includes everyone from airport greeters to fan experience staff and traffic coordinators. Concessions are also incredibly important for the Super Bowl experience. People need food to eat while enjoying the game. There are roughly between 2,000 and 3,000 core food and beverage staff working the game. But given this is the Super Bowl, they need a little extra help. To handle this,
Right,
an
I
additional
imagine.
1,000 to 2,000 workers are brought in to help serve people food and drink. Most interestingly,
But I also imagine, like, I'm sure they're getting extra for all the demand, like some sort of peak. I assume like $1 extra, $2 extra, because you got all this extra work and all these people you gotta serve, and you need extra help. So I'm sure it's like a thing where people, kind of like an Amazon peak, where people like to go work because they know they're gonna get extra money. So some people might like working the Super Bowl because they say, "Oh, this is a opportunity to me to get some quick cash or something like that."
the revenue gained from concessions alone is astronomical.
I don't know though.
It is estimated that anywhere between $6 and $8 million is grossed on concessions alone. That is a lot of food and drinks.
Damn.
Lastly, the most important attendees of the big game are, of course, the coaches and players. This includes the 53-man roster, plus 2 to 4 additional reserves, 20 to 25 coaches, 15 to 20 medical/training staff, and another 25 to 30 operations personnel, totaling 115 to 130 people per team. And believe me when I tell you this, their schedules the week of the Super Bowl are crazy. Super Bowl week is hectic, to say the least. Teams normally arrive Sunday before the Super Bowl to get settled and have a lengthy week of activities ahead of them. On Monday, the festivities begin, most notably opening night. On opening night, individual players and coaches from both teams are at podiums. Thousands of media members gather around them to ask questions and
that's
record
fire.
viral moments, like this interview between Deion
Like, I know this must be so fire for the players, especially like if niggas been in the league for 5 years, 10 years, and they never got a Super Bowl, then they eventually make it, and you just like on the big stage, the whole world looking at you, you doing all these extra activities. You know what I mean? I imagine that's so fire, bro.
Sanders and Marshawn Lynch several years back.
You look good. Shit, you do too.
The event is also
Hey, yo.
commonly open to fans as a ticketed event. The host stadium will often play hype videos for each team, music, and entertain with team mascots. In total, it is about 90 minutes and gets most of the media obligations out of the way early, allowing teams to focus on football later in the week. Tuesday through Friday are much more football focused. Teams hold full practices and media events are limited. While coaches and players will still conduct individual interviews on these days are way more tame than opening night and allow players to focus on what's important. Saturday is when things really tighten up and calm down. The teams normally hold light walkthroughs and media sessions are...
Bro, I don't know, bro. Like, the nerves these niggas probably feel walking through the tunnel. I know they be shitting
at a minimum, with only key players and coaches holding brief interviews. Most of the players' time is spent in hotels, reviewing film and mentally prepping for the next day. On Super Bowl Sunday, everything is tightly scheduled and feels like it is timed down to the minute. Players are required to be up and at breakfast around 7 hours before kickoff. Teams will often hold a few additional meetings for position groups and then head to the stadium 3 to 4 hours before kickoff. For travel to the game, teams obviously have police escorts and NFL security to ensure a safe arrival, and teams have a fixed window of arrival set by the league. Upon entering the stadium, players will get additional treatment needed and then begin warm-ups 90 minutes.
All this to lose the Super Bowl. I don't even blame niggas for crying, bro. That shit gotta be so tough.
Before kickoff. After warm-ups, players will head back to the locker room for some last-minute speeches.
Like that one Super Bowl where it was the Broncos and who was it? The Seahawks? It was somebody. It was one of Peyton ones before he won the Super Bowl. And he got blown out.
By captains.
That must be like terrible plane rides home.
Coaches before being introduced for the big game. And then the show really starts. To showcase the spectacle for those not in attendance, a broadcast is needed, of course. There are 4 major broadcast channels that retain rights to host the Super Bowl, rotating every year. They are CBS, Fox, NBC, and ABC. Under the most recent deal signed in 2021, the first 3 channels have the rights to 3 Super Bowls, and ABC has the rights to 2. After that, a new contract will be needed. The commentators for each are as follows. CBS's A-Team of Jim Nantz and Tony Romo, Fox's Kevin Burkhardt and Tom Brady, NBC's Mike Tirico and Chris Collinsworth, and ABC/ESPN.
I'd say my favorite out of these. I ain't lying, I like Tony Romo and Jim Nantz.
Kevin Burkhardt and Tom Brady.
I also like Tom Brady. I like it when they have Greg Olsen in there too.
NBC's Mike
NBC, these like they Sunday night, Monday night? I think they Sunday night usually.
Rico and Chris Collinsworth.
He always good glazing, Patrick Mahomes
and ABC/ESPN's Monday Night Football hosts Joe Buck and Troy Aikman.
I fought with these niggas too.
This year, we will get an extra dose of Tirico and Collinsworth, as it's NBC's Super Bowl to host. To make the broadcast happen, the hosts need cameras, and a lot of them. In last year's Super Bowl, Fox used well over 100 cameras, and Sony added an additional 250. 6,000 plus credentialed media members are at the Super Bowl. And while not all of them are operating cameras or microphones, many of them are.
They're going to take a look at that.
They are the unsung heroes of the production. They capture all of the important moments we see throughout the game and everything that fans tune in for, outside of those just watching for the halftime show and commercials. Speaking of which, another major draw to the Super Bowl are the commercials.
Halftime show commercials, bro. I never heard anybody sit down at a Super Bowl party and say, yeah, I'm just watching it for the commercials. Oh yeah, I'm ready for Bad Bunny halftime show. Like, yeah, there's people around me that is casuals, don't watch football, but they at least kind of pay attention to the game a little bit. I never understood those niggas. Well, I'm just watching for the commercials. Oh yeah, I'm really hyped for that halftime show. It should be really, really good. Bro, shut your ass up, bro.
More entertaining than the Super Bowl itself. Throughout the duration of the broadcast, anywhere from 80 to 90 commercials are aired. 50 to 60 companies run these commercials, and while recent estimates aren't available, it was reported that 56 different companies ran commercials in 2022. Last year, Anheuser-Busch had the most runtime, with over 3 minutes. That was 30 seconds more than what they had spent in 2024. With the spend in mind, what do Super Bowl commercials cost? Last year, it was between $7 and $8 million for 30 seconds. That doesn't include the cost of shooting.
Bro, I never had this much money in my life. 30 seconds?
Commercial, producing the commercial, and, where applicable, paying the celebrities that are...
But I imagine they making this back, right?
In the commercials.
Gotta be.
However, considering that there was an average live viewership of 127.7 million people last year,
They recouped that.
that level of investment somehow seems justified. The other major draw for at-home viewers, and those in attendance, is the halftime show. The first step is selecting a performer, a
Kendrick Lamar's
delicate
good.
and
I'm not gonna lie.
well-thought-out process. The first and most important factor is popularity. The person must resonate with over 100 million viewers. The next consideration is cross-generational recognition. People ages 5 to 90 years old watch the Super Bowl every year. The person performing should be recognized by the large majority. And, of course, if the person is internationally recognized, that is a huge plus as well. After sifting through dozens of options, a performer is selected 3 to 6 months in advance. Then the practicing and budgeting begins. The performance is no different than a regular halftime performance,
Bro, I'd have a job like working at a stadium. Like I'd be the nigga just rolling out the lights and shit. I wonder how much they make.
other than the insane cost and presentation value. It still has tight time constraints, and the show typically runs about 13 minutes. An additional 10 to 20 minutes is needed for teardown, and then we're back to the action.
That's
Beyond
like
the
Pit
timing,
Crew type
the cost,
shit. How fast
however,
they
is
gotta
where
move all
things
that
get really
stage
crazy.
in there.
The shows can cost anywhere from $10 to $20 million to produce, and we have seen a ton of great performers. This year's performer is Bad Bunny, but icons like Michael Jackson, Prince, Madonna, and recently Taylor Swift, who set the record for most costume changes last year with 7, have at one point graced the stage. The wild thing about selecting a performer is almost no one gets selected twice as a headliner. Only Gloria Estefan, Beyonce, and Justin Timberlake have headlined multiple times.
Word.
It's an exclusive club, those who are selected twice as a headliner, and a true testament of a performer's popularity. The game and the halftime show are obviously the major draws of the Super Bowl for those in attendance, but the Super Bowl is a one-of-a-kind.
Not me, nigga.
The average resale Super Bowl started.
no.
What does it cost?
Yeah, now we talking.
Cheapest seat last year on resale markets just before the Super Bowl started was anywhere between $2,200
$2,000. I imagine this is all the way at the tip top of the stadium, nigga.
and $2,600.
You watching
The
it
average
with
resale
God.
ticket price last year was $8,000.
Oh my God. I'll watch that bitch at my house, gang. I'll watch it at my house. bro.
$76. Tickets for first row in the 50-yard line, upwards of $56,000.
Dude. Really, dude?
Insane prices. But they are nothing in comparison to the suites. The tiers are normally as follows.
Bro, the NFL got to be making so much money. That's for one ticket. So say if you a party of 2, that's 100,000. 100 bands. That's wild, bro. They got to be making real, like, monopoly money, bro.
Upper bowl run around $2,500. Lower bowl can run between $4,000 to $10,000.
Like, I'm up here and I spent 2 bands? Come on, dog.
Club level
I'll have that
tickets
bitch
are
in my
between
house.
$8,000 to $15,000 and offer super unique experiences. 50-yard line and sideline tickets range between $5 and $20K.
Nah.
And the Super Bowl suites are crazy. Super Bowl suites last year ranged between $750,000 and $2.5 million.
But look, if I'm thinking like a smart person, I get a suite if I got a bunch of rich friends. We all put in 10, 20. You know what I mean? And we fit like 10 people in there.
Dollars. That is one expensive game. Of course, there are a lot of
Put in
perks that
30.
come with it. At least we'd hope so, for the price. The suites include anywhere from 15 to 50 seats, depending on the size. They also come with buffets of gourmet food prepared by expert chefs, multiple flat screen TVs, service staff, a full service cocktail bar, and VIP
I'd only do that if I'm
parking / shuttle
rich.
services. Many packages offer meet and greets
I
with
mean,
players,
I hope anybody
field
doing that
access
is
before
rich.
the game, and exclusive parties only for suite holders. Is that worth the price of admission? Speaking of money, gambling during the Super Bowl is huge. Last year, it was estimated that $1.39 billion was
Jeez.
gambled on the Super Bowl, according to the American Gaming Association. Other estimates indicate that overall gambling was a lot larger, totaling over $6 billion. Who placed the largest bet? And how much did they place? Mattress Mac, who you may have heard of, still holds the record.
If y'all know who this is, this nigga be wagering stupid ass money. But he got a method. Basically what he does is he throws this he owns this mattress store, hence the name Mattress Mac. And he throws this sale, and he does, if everybody who buys a mattress, I think if this certain team he places a bet on, or it's the opposite team, if that team wins, all of your mattresses are free. So just the thought of that brings in a lot of customers buying the mattresses. So he basically places a bet on the other side of the team. So basically, if the team that wins and everybody gets their mattresses for free, he has a bet on that same team. If I think I'm explaining it right. So he doesn't lose anything, but he also made sales. So it's like a win-win in a way. He's basically hedging his own bet.
For the largest bet, when he waged $5 million on the Cincinnati Bengals to win Super Bowl 56, breaking the previous record of $4.9 million set in 2002.
Stupid amount of money.
That bet is still a drop in the bucket compared to the $1.39 billion that was gambled. So what are all these people gambling on? The winner, of course, but more importantly, the prop bets. And believe me,
bro, I will not be doing any prop bets like that on the Super Bowl. I feel like that will ruin the game. Oh, I need this guy to get 2 more yards. And meanwhile, they not throwing the ball no more in the game. You know what I mean? I feel like when it's a game, like maybe when it's like the whole slate of games, yeah, you could do prop bets. But when it's one game, just bet one side of it. One side. That's literally the best way to go.
There are a ton of crazy prop bets. Obviously, you can bet on players' yards, touchdown scorers, and others, but the Super Bowl offers a unique menu. The most famous are the over-under for national anthem length, the color of Gatorade poured on the winning coach, and the result of the coin toss. But some sportsbooks get really creative. Props offered on some sportsbooks in the past have included crazy things like whether or not a player will propose after the game, whether or not an octopus,
like
a touchdown and 2-point conversion by the same player will happen, if there will be a power outage, this happened during Super Bowl 47, if there will be a wardrobe malfunction, also happened before, and a host of others. The craziest prop bet that actually hit was whether or not there would be a streaker during the Super Bowl, although this one was removed for hilarious reasons. In 2021, a fan placed a...
What if somebody's betting on their self, though? Right? That has to be illegal somehow.
$50,000 bet that there would be a streaker during the Super Bowl at plus 750. So, what did he know? Well, apparently a lot. The fan then attended the Super Bowl and made sure his bet hit in the most hilarious way possible.
This nigga got his ass.
He was
out,
in
bro.
line for $374,000 payday, but the sportsbooks obviously found out he gamed the system and voided the bet.
Yeah.
Wild. Once the game is over and a champion has been crowned,
How did he get caught,
the bets have
bro?
been cashed, the cleanups begin. This may seem like a long drawn-out process, but the host city and stadium normally has a ton of help. Within the first couple of hours, most of the trash inside of the stadium is actually removed and thrown away. After all of the fans have left, the deep clean begins. This is completed by stadium staff and special workers hired just for Super Bowl cleanup. Deep cleaning is completed over the next 6 to 12 hours. The workers power wash floors, clean bathrooms, remove field markings, logos, and NFL markings, amongst a litany of other things. By the next morning, almost everything inside the stadium is cleaned up.
Dude, that has to be a big ass project.
But the trash and mess left behind outside the stadium is the real problem, and takes much longer. Over the next 2 to 3 days, volunteers help tear down and pick up all of the fan events and trash that are left over from the massive event.
Was
All
that
told,
Bourbon Street?
it takes roughly 72 hours to clean up after the Super Bowl, which, if you consider the sheer size of the event, is actually quite impressive. From there, audits on spending and reviewing of finances begin. These take quite a bit of time, but they are really the only thing left to do after the cleanup has been finished. So, that's it in a nutshell. The Super Bowl is a crazy event, hosting thousands of celebrities, media members, and fans every single year. It is the singular most popular event in American sports and television for that matter. To put things in perspective, 19 of the 20 most watched American television broadcasts have been Super Bowls, with MASH, Goodbye, Farewell, and Amen being the only non-Super Bowl broadcast to have made the list. There is a lot that goes into the Super Bowl, and for good reason. It is quite literally the biggest event in American culture, and probably will be for quite some time.
That was a good video.
Niggas ain't fucking with
Hey man,
me.
y'all like the video? Binge the rest of the video, bro. Appreciate
Niggas
y'all.
ain't fucking with me. You ain't getting money, we exposing. I'm rocking our money and robbing. We moving big pounds like we in the gym. Yeah, I got your hoe, she goes in. All I do win. These niggas ain't know I'm him. I'm frontin' shit off of the beam. This hoe, take that to the chin.